From the top to the bottom, at the core, at the dot, in the middle of my thoughts. Take it from.
What's good, YouTube? Yo, boy 21 here, bringing you another episode of my Dueling Network Duel series. Starting off, I'm going up against an unknown player so far. I want to ruin the duel for you guys. Okay, fuck it. It's Artifacts. Player named Jaden Yuki 69. And he starts off by going Mermails. I break the skill because I don't want that shit going off. And when he summoned Mermails, I figured he was playing Artifacts. By the way, I love playing Dueling Network when there's a new format, because when there's a new format, you can always get a couple of good duels in when you have a low ranking. Now later on in the duel, well, not later on in the duel, but later on in the format, when everyone on Dueling Network pretty much have their ranking set up, staying in the 100s, that shit is not going to fly, and everyone's playing garbage. So right now, everyone's trying to get some good testing in for the meta, and it's the best time to play in Dueling Network. So if you're a Dueling Network player like I am, go test now. So you see, we were up drawing brick hands, and I wound up depressing his Mermails, and you see I pretty much have a god hand at this point. I trap stun him to get rid of the back row, and I have gadget Kage, double Kage, and chain summon. So even if he does bring out the moral tech, which he does, gonna be pretty much GG, as you guys see right here. So for you guys that were doubting chain gadgets in this new format, don't doubt the deck. The deck can still do some damage, even against a window, because I did have a breakthrough skill engraved, so window wouldn't have did shit either. So right now I'm just going to perform my little long-ass chain summoning OTK. Now I'm not going to lie, if I didn't have the second Kage, this OTK wouldn't have been possible, only because he had the moral tech. But if it wasn't for him, but if he didn't have a moral tech, I could have still OTK'd him, for you new subscribers that haven't seen the combo yet. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a gear frame right now, using my last normal summon to summon the gear frame to search out the fortress. And I'm also special summon Kage from my net hand. So gear frame, grabbing fortress. Fortress goes to hand. I'm going to special the fortress now. It was some kind of lag there for a minute. I forgot why. Okay. I special the fortress, and I'm going to immediately make 101, because just in case he had something, I don't fucking know, Trigodia 101, be able to take a beating from like a Regeki or something and try to come back. I love 101, guys. Some people, they don't opt to run it, but I still opt to run it due to the fact that it protects itself from dying. And if you guys can do basic math like I can, that is pretty much game over. And if it wasn't game over, I had a Forbidden Chalice set just in case for that ass. So at this point, I type in GG, and I'm just waiting for him to reply. Pretty quick and smooth game. He showed me he had Monarchs, the Storm 4. I was going to show him I had Break the Skill. Starting off this second duel, I go up against an anti-meta deck, and you guys can see I didn't draw the most optimal hand. I drew 3 gadgets, Mystical Space Typhoon, and Vanishing Emptiness. And at this point, I'm like, fuck, what the hell can I do? But I just waited out, and I just continue playing. So I'm just deciding. Honestly, at this point, I was waiting because I'm thinking it was his turn for some reason. But because he wanted to, I believe he wanted to do rock paper scissors, but he let me go first. So I just summoned red, set 2 pass, and I was thinking I was gonna lose at this point, because you see I have 4 gadgets, and you never really want to draw 3 gadgets. And honestly, the only time I really lose with this deck per se is either I get outplayed, which I rarely see happen. Not gonna bullshit. A lot of people don't know what the fuck they're doing with some of these explosive decks that they run. And for 2, I just draw brick hands like this. And running 9 gadgets, you can draw brick hands. So he summoned his Foster Dino set 5 pass. And honestly, guys, I was gonna think about scooping this game up, not because I had a bad hand, but because he had 0 extra deck. My rule of thumb for playing on DN, if someone has 0 extra deck, that means they're either playing a trolley deck or a bullshit Jaden Yuki hero deck that runs 50 fucking heroes. But I'm like, fuck, I'm just gonna see what he does, because I don't want to cop out. I just want to build up my points since it's early in the DN format. So I summon green. I'm gonna try to run over to Foster Dino. I think he has Mirror Force. No, he played that the spell to let you draw. And as you guys can see, he safe zone his Foster Dino. Now I could have got rid of the Dino right away, but I decided there was no point, because I wanted to let him waste the resources trying to get rid of my resources. So He summons his DD Warrior Lady and pop over my green gadget. And I'm like, okay, fine. That's not gonna do anything for me. I have to MST get rid of his save zone, and I draw another fucking gadget. And at this point, I am angry, but there's nothing I can do about it. Sip the coffee. Now, I summon my gear frame, grab him in the fortress, and I have 2 reds, 2 greens, and a fortress in hand, which is I feel like is a retarded hand to have. But hey, that's Yu-Gi-Oh! And I break through skill to DD Warrior Lady because I'm going to try to run it over my gear frame, hoping he doesn't have any back row. But that's pretty much not going to happen. I believe he does, yes, and he did activate the Forbidden Lands. Sending my Machina gear frame to the graveyard, and I'm like, fudge. I was going to bring out the forces by MS Team to save some, but I forgot it was no point. I'm still high on life. I could take a beating for a little while, and I have our red gadget in my hand, which is I'm going to use to stall with defense because DD Warrior Lady is 15, and Red Gadget has that beefy 1500 defense. So I guess he was deciding on what to play he's going to do, and he just decides on swinging at me directly for his 1500. I'm like, that's fine. That's nothing much. So I'm going to sit on my Red Gadget and pass because my following turn I'm thinking I can summon another gadget, overlay into something amazing, and beat his face in. So he's going to draw his card for his turn. He's going to summon the DD Assailant, and I have the bottomless trap O for him. And I see him thinking, so I'm thinking he probably had a lance in hand, but he didn't use it, so I'm assuming he didn't have the lance. And he flipped over. He attacked into my gadget, and I was back hoping he tried to remove DD with DD Warrior Lady, and he didn't. It would have been a bad play on his part if he would have anyway. So at this point, I have the double MST, and I'm going to go for an overlay play. So I'm going to MST to save zone, which gets rid of his fossil data, and I'm going to summon my red, grabbing my last yellow, I believe. Yeah, so I'm grabbing my last yellow, and I forget which play I made. I know I was thinking about what his back row was for a while. I'm thinking like, man, if I don't get rid of that warrior, I'm going to get screwed over. But if he gets rid of my monster, I can do something. So my goal was to break through skill his DD Warrior Lady and just run him over with my number 101. And he says, hold on a second. He forbidden dresses his Warrior Lady. I guess he thought 101 was going to try to take his Warrior Lady, which made no sense because 101 cannot use his effect on a monster that wasn't special summons. But I'm like, okay, whatever. You activate your dress, I chain my breakthrough skill to your Warrior Ladies, and I'm just going to attack directly. And I think he does activate the Mirror Force, I believe. But it doesn't matter because 101 has the effect that he can protect himself from destruction, which is why I tell everyone at my locals, keep at least one 101 in your deck for situations like this. But no one wants to listen to me, so whatever. Shit happens. I run over his Warrior Lady, and I believe I end my turn at this point. I don't think there's anything he can do. And he's waiting. He plays Necro Valley. I end phase MST the new card because the other card wasn't a threat because I just attacked directly and he didn't use it. So, which was a TT. Gonna summon a gadget, go for Fortress, push in some heavy damage. I think that's like 6,000 on board. And he pretty much scoops it up at this point because he knew he couldn't come back with the cards he had in his deck. And last but not least, I'm going to face up against an actual subscriber of mine. So, buddy, Dose God, or Dose God, however you pronounce that. If you're watching, this was an awesome duel. Now, I'm going to start by saying we dueled one game before this, and he whooped my ass with his deck. So this isn't just me going to sweep him. It's just that I wasn't recording the first game that we played, so when he said it was a subscriber, I'm like, yeah, might as well record the second game and get it up on the channel because I love my subscribers and I want to show all of us playing together as one big happy family and all that gay shit. So I open up pretty much nuts, double trap stun, and everything else. And he opens up similar to how he opened up the last duel we played, which was a Genesis controller. And he's gonna try to attack, but I have the D prison this time. So I'm going to de-prison that away. And so, yeah, I de-prison that away, and I'm still sitting on my double trap stun. And I forgot what else I had. Wish I could move my marker over to C. But I'm gonna go for my Mermelio, searching out a bottomless, 'cause that's the best way to do it at this point, obviously. And I'm gonna try to hit him for that fat ass 3K, which he would try to activate an Abyss Spear, and I would chain my trap stun, negating that young Abyss Spear on that ass, dealing him that 3,000 damage. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I love doing these dueling commentaries, but that sometimes they're just like, it's like, damn, you get to talking so much, your mouth gets to hurting. Like, I'm not used to talking about so much random stuff in my life, but it's fun. This is a good experience for me. I love doing these commentaries, but it's one of them things like, the talking part. It's like sometimes when it's late at night, you worked a long day, you're like, blah. I've been talking to people all day, especially doing my job. 'Cause my job, I'm answering phone calls, I'm handling customers, and some customers just get on your fucking nerves. For all of you guys that do customer service, you would know what I'm talking about. So I made the King of the Feral Realms to keep my plusing up because I wanted to keep my advantage over him, knowing he's playing mermails and he can just come back and whoop my ass. And I draw into a second Kage, and I search out both of my Kages from that. And I'm gonna make Abyss Dweller at this point because I know he's playing mermails, and I don't want to run into no Abyss Gundy or whatever the girl is that gets a guy from the deck. I'll have a hashtag somewhere on the screen probably if I remember to edit it in. So Abyss Dweller's gonna attack the face down, and he told me sorry he forgot the chain and effect to my gadget because he is lagging on his side. He had the wing blast, and I had the trap stun for the wing blast. Sadly for him, he would have still had to pay cost for the wing blast, and he scooped it up. And that's pretty much GG. Rate, comment, subscribe, guys.